and welcome to the last section of Unit 2. So this is Section 4, the importance of healthy eating. In this podcast, we're going to discuss what you as a sports massage therapist can tell a client about nutrition. So firstly, why as a sports massage therapist is it important to have a basic understanding of the topic?
Okay, so first things first, you're able to determine if somebody does have a basic balanced diet. And then, of course, interacting with the benefits of this. So typically, someone who has a good nutrition is more likely to stick to a rehab plan. If they've got poor diet, then you're able to give someone basic pointers, but also let them know where they can find some good advice. Injury repair, of course, is also linked to a good diet, because if you've got a good nutrition, you're more likely to heal quickly. Poor diet is also going to impair training, so that can have a big impact on the people that you're seeing regularly. But you do have to be careful with your dietary advice. What you are able to give as a massage therapist is extremely limited. And that's to the National Food Guidelines. If you are in any other position, so you could refer somebody perhaps to a nutritionist or a dietitian, they'll be able to give much more detailed advice, perhaps for specific needs or someone who's got some medical conditions. They'll be much more helpful. And you'll then know when to refer to them by having a basic understanding.
Great. So, what exactly are the food guidelines or the National Food Guidelines? So this is a very simple thing that the NHS has designed to give the public a basic understanding of dietary information and to promote healthy eating. The guidelines use the Eat Well plate, and there are some simple rules to go with it as well. So shall we have a little look through and talk through the Eat Well plate?
So you can find visuals for the Eat Well plate in both your manual but also online. And then you'll see it's divided into 5 sections. 2 sections are a third of each plate. The first one is fruit and vegetables. Now it's recommended at least 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. Now 5 is the minimum recommendation and they should be different colours. Now typically we were supposed to be recommended 8 to 10, but they didn't think this was sustainable, which is why we're at 5. So that's just a little aside there for you. The next section is bread, rice, pasta, so starchy carbohydrates. These should be, where possible, whole grain. The final third is divided into 3, 2 slightly larger than the other. Of the 2 larger sections, one is meat, fish, eggs and beans. Now these are your protein-based food. The other is dairy, so milk, cheese and so on. The final and smallest section is fats and sugars. Now these should typically be kept to a minimum.
Always the hard one, that one. So along with these guidelines, or the Eat Well plate, there are some additional guidelines that were put together, backed by the NHS. There's 8 healthy eating pointers. Some we've already brought up, but just to run through them, it's base your meal around starchy carbs. So the majority of your plate should be starchy carbs. Eat lots of fruit and vegetables, at least 5 portions a day. And as Charlotte has already pointed out, this is an absolute bare minimum. You should also be eating fish, at least 2 portions a week, and one of those should be oily. You should always cut down on your sugars and saturated fats and reduce salt to no more than 6 grams a day. You want to be active and try to be a healthy weight. Don't get thirsty. Drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, but that is different for everybody. And finally, don't skip breakfast.
So basically, what we've just described is all the guidance as a massage therapist you can give to your client. Now, people will have their own ideas of healthy eating, but it's really important that you stay within your professional boundaries. Now, if you have any concerns or any doubts about somebody, you are more than welcome to refer them out to a nutritionist or dietitian, as we already said.
Okay, so that's your boundaries and the area of advice that you can give covered. Let's have a look at food itself. Food is a combination of nutrients or building blocks and fuel for the body. So there's 5 groups. You have your carbohydrates, proteins and fats, which are your macronutrients, and then you have your vitamins and minerals, which are your micronutrients. So let's have a look at these in a bit more detail.
So let's start with carbohydrates. They can be subdivided into sugars, starches and fibres. Now, sugars are a simple form of carbohydrates. That means they're quickly broken down and absorbed into the body. That's useful when energy is needed quickly. What it will do is create a spike in blood sugar. So typically foods like fruit, table sugar, confectionery are all quite high in sugar, with also a lot of processed foods. But as you can see, the inclusion of fruit, not all are bad sugars. Some carbs aren't bad, but they should be limited within the diet.
Okay, so starchy carbs, these are your complex carbohydrates. These are harder to break down and slower to absorb in the body, so you don't get that blood sugar spike. So these are things like whole grain pasta and rice and bread. Starchy carbs should form the majority of your carbohydrates consumed. So if starchy carbohydrates have been processed, such as in white bread, they're going to behave like simple carbohydrates.
Fibres then can be soluble or insoluble, and it's really important to have these within the diet. Now they're found within fruit and veg, and they bulk up the diet, leaving you feeling fuller for longer. Again, processed foods are generally reduced in fibre.
So that's your carbohydrates. Let's have a little look at proteins. So proteins can be broken down into amino acids. So that's the building blocks of protein. And there's about 20 of these. 8 are actually essential, which have to be included in the diet, but the rest the body can actually make from the various other amino acids. By eating a wide variety of protein-based foods, you will get all the amino acids you require. Proteins are used for building and repairing the tissues, which is an important part of injury repair. Two main categories of proteins are animal-based, which includes dairy, meat, fish, and then you have plants, that's your pulses, grains and cereals.
So the last of the macronutrients is fats, and there are 4 categories: saturated, monosaturated, polyunsaturated and hydrogenated. Fats are a very important part of the diet, playing many roles within the body, and the first 3 should not be excluded from the diet. So saturated fats get a lot of bad press over the years, but it is important they're included within the diet, but in moderation. They're required by the body's cells and nervous system to allow normal function. Now they can be found in animal sources such as red meat, dairy and poultry, but plant-based alternatives are coconut and palm oil. Monounsaturated fats help protect against heart disease and are found in both plant and animal sources such as meat, avocado, olive and rapeseed oil. Now polyunsaturated fats are important in health, especially the brain. So good sources include oily fish, sunflower seeds and oil and flaxseed. Polyunsaturated fats include the essential omega group, which has had a lot of press in recent years for its health benefits and is often supplemented. Finally, hydrogenated fat. Now this is a man-made fat created by modern food processing. It is also known as trans fat and should typically be avoided. Unlike the other fats, they are known to increase health risks such as heart disease, strokes and cancers.
So that's your macronutrients covered. Let's have a quick word about your micronutrients. These are your vitamins and minerals, and they occur naturally in the soil and are taken up by the plants as they grow. Then if eaten by an animal, the animal will absorb those vitamins and minerals as well. It is recommended to have a varied diet to ensure that you get all the vitamins and minerals you need. The wider the colours on your plate, the wider the vitamins and minerals you're going to absorb. These are essential for normal healthy growth, repair and daily function.
Great, so having looked over the food part of your nutrition, what about water? So alongside a balanced diet, hydration is really important. We are made up of between 45 and 75% water. Now everyone's water requirements are different, and a variety of factors will also affect the amount of water intake required. Now these include temperature, physical activity and respiration rate. Now typically it's recommended that you drink before you feel thirsty, as you may already be dehydrated at this time. Water has several important functions in the body, including formation and maintenance of blood plasma, effective passage of substances in and out of the cells, and enables life-sustaining reactions to occur in the body, as all chemical reactions take place in water. If you are dehydrated, this will affect your mental and physical performance, with a 1% decrease in hydration associated with a severe drop in performance. So it makes a big difference.
There goes the science again. So the simple message here is drink plenty of water and eat a wide variety of foods and avoid processed foods.
So this could well be one of my favourite topics as a sports scientist, and that is how nutrition affects injury repair. So proteins, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids and vitamins and minerals play a direct role in tissue growth and repair. So they're essential for healing, both be that small micro tear or a major injury. Now, if someone eats a high processed diet or doesn't eat enough calories on a long-term basis, this will in fact slow the healing process of the body. The body will keep the limited nutrients it has for more essential things and will always prioritise survival over injury repair. This will dramatically increase the healing time of an injury, which I've seen several times in my career.
Right, so let's have a look at what these key nutrients even do in injury repair. Protein is responsible for tissue growth and repair. Different cells will require different combinations and numbers of amino acids, which most of the body can make, but some will have to be found in the diet, which we've already discussed. If there is a shortage of amino acids or the essential ones are not found within the diet, the body cannot do its job properly and won't be able to build the new tissue. They recommend daily intake of protein for a sedentary adult is 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight per day. And if someone is trying to build muscle, this rises to 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilo of body weight per day. So it's not as much as people think.
This is then linked into a really interesting topic about sort of protein shakes and protein supplements. Something that isn't part of your course, but also really important to consider based on the numbers that we've just discussed. Can the body actually absorb more protein, or is it better to actually have a meal with a high protein content which will take you longer to digest?
I knew this one was coming.
Bit of food for thought for you there. So the omegas have a very specific role as well. So omega-3 helps to reduce blood clotting, and omega-6, which is often added to processed foods, helps to stimulate inflammatory pathways. So if the body's natural balance is out, either too high or too low in the extreme, this will affect the healing process.
Okay, so vitamins have numerous roles within the body, and if there is a deficiency, it will affect injury repair. Vitamin D aids the absorption of calcium and phosphorus, which is really important in bone repair and growth. Vitamin E aids blood circulation, helping to maintain cell integrity, and is required for tissue repair as well. Vitamin K plays a role in blood clotting and blood formation. Vitamin B complex, so it's a complex because there is a variety of vitamin Bs, plays a role in nerve health, red blood cells, and maintaining iron levels even in the blood. Minerals play a large role in repair and are required for numerous roles around the body.
So there you have it, a very brief look at what a balanced diet looks like and some of the key roles of the nutrients within the body. Now this has barely scratched the surface, but I'm sure you can see that you need to stay within your professional boundaries, but why it's important to have a balanced diet and how the basic knowledge will help you to understand your clients better.
Okie dokie. So that has now completed section 4 of Unit 2, and you have now completed Unit 2. Congratulations. You're able to now go and complete the worksheet and any other tasks associated with this. Enjoy. Goodbye.
Bye.